All right, the watch list for Friday. PSTR had a huge move on Tuesday, kind of gave some back, but really stayed in its upper range on Wednesday, and then today closed pretty strong. So I like it over today's high, over 448. This one might just retest and maybe break through 5. So that's PSTR. Lower float, lower volume stocks, so be careful with it. JMEI tried to break out on Wednesday, put in a kind of a quiet, narrow range on Thursday. The fact that it was red puts it on bounce watch for me. I think it might continue that breakout on Friday, so I want to watch JMEI. Remember, these are only based on intraday setups, so I can't give really trigger prices on it. Actually, a couple I will have trigger prices on, but most of them are based on how they trade on an intraday basis because I'm a day trader and I go to cash every night. CMCM, I'd like to see another red day, but maybe this one sells off early and turns, and we get a bounce, on Friday. So I'd like to see another red day, but super strong move here, and it's coming in. Again, normally I'd like to see at least one more red day, but it might be worth having on a chart going into Friday. GBSN, huge move from 2 to almost 550. Now it's down like 5 days in a row, really starting to get quiet on the volume. This one might have a surprise update in it. So it can't hurt me to have it on a chart. That's GBSN. EYES had it on bounce watch after the gap up and closing red on Wednesday, and it just had another red day on Thursday, but kind of a more narrow range, much lighter volume. This is a great setup for a potential long on Friday. SYRX, another really good setup. This one had 12.5 million shares on Tuesday, and now a couple quiet, lower volume red days. Great setup for a potential bounce play on Friday. That's SYRX. CNDO. I had this on long watch going into Thursday, and it didn't give me a trigger, but I like it even more now. You kind of have an inside day on Thursday, so I like this over 418 with a secondary catalyst of 426. So 419 is kind of my trigger to buy it, assuming it's kind of a fairly flat open, and that is CNDO. ROSG looks like it tried to rip on Thursday, but what really happened was it got halted and then opened up here at 360 after the halt, took off, and then gave almost all of that back. So I still think that might be worth watching for a long with a proper intraday setup on Friday. IBIO, another cheapie, but very nice breakout on Thursday and closed at its highs. I'd like to see maybe early selling and then a red to green or something like that, because I certainly don't want to chase it. But IBIO is worth having on a chart. BIND gapped up on Tuesday, ran up to 665, then started to sell off on Wednesday, but buyers came in, and the same thing on Thursday, sold off, but buyers came in. So I really like this over Thursday's high, around 660. This one might just break out to the upside. All right, that's BIND. And then also GENE, GENE. We got an okay trade in this one today in the chat room, but it gave some of that back later. This one still, sometimes that happens and then the next day it goes, so I still want to have GENE on watch. We will also look for some gappers in the morning, trade those, and also be watching this list pretty closely, and I'll leave it at that. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow.